there, another dose of Dr. Debbie here. Today I'm talking about getting unstuck. So, for the past few years, I've been teaching about the 5 stages from betrayal to breakthrough. And just to back up a bit, if you aren't familiar, I did a PhD study. That study made 3 groundbreaking discoveries. One was that while we can stay stuck for years, decades, a lifetime, and so many of us do, if we're going to fully heal, going from symptoms of post-betrayal syndrome to this whole healed, strong, empowered state of post-betrayal transformation. Both of those were the other discoveries. We will go through 5 now proven predictable stages. What's even more exciting about that is we even know what happens physically, mentally, and emotionally at every one of those stages, and we know what it takes to move from one stage to the next. That was so exciting because that was the moment we realized healing is predictable. If we are willing to do what it takes to move from one stage to the next, we will predictably heal. So, in teaching the 5 stages and moving people through the 5 stages, one thing has become incredibly clear. The most common stage to get stuck in is stage 3. And people stay in stage 3 for a lifetime. I want to go through just briefly what the 5 stages are. And so you can see which stage you're in, see if you may be stuck in stage 3. Most importantly, I have something very exciting to share with you about a way to move through it. So, real quickly, stage 1 is like a setup stage. And I saw this with every study participant, me too. If you imagine 4 legs of a table, the 4 legs being physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual, what I saw with everybody was a real heavy lean on the physical and the mental, and really not prioritizing the emotional and the spiritual. What does that look like? Looks like we're really good at thinking and doing, not really prioritizing the feeling and being. We're in our head, we're not in our hearts. That's what that's about. If we only have 2 legs of a table, easy for that table to topple over. That's us. Stage 2, by far the scariest of all of the stages. And this is the shock, D-Day, Discovery Day, and it's the breakdown of the body, the mind, and the worldview. So here, this is like where that person takes the mask off and says, no, this is who I've been this whole time. It's a complete shock. So with that, we ignite the stress response. We're headed for just about every single stress-related symptom, illness, condition, disease. Our mind is in a complete and total state of chaos and overwhelm. We cannot wrap our mind around the information we just learned. This makes no sense. It's like a weird time warp thing going on. And our worldview is shattered. Our worldview is our mental model, the rules that govern us and prevent chaos. Don't go there, trust this person, this is how it works. And in one earth shattering moment or series of moments, everything we've known to be real and true is no longer. The bottom has truly bottomed out on us. I remember a study participant saying, you know what it feels like? It feels like every negative emotion you can imagine getting punched in the gut and losing a child in a crowd all at the same time. It's horrible. So imagine if the bottom were to bottom out on you, what would you do? Well, you'd grab hold of anything and everything you could to stay safe and stay alive. And that's stage 3. Survival instincts emerge. It's the most practical of all of the stages. If you can't help me, get out of my way. How do I survive this experience? Who can I trust? Where do I go? How do I feed my kids? Here's the trap. Once we've figured out how to survive, because it feels so much better than the shock and trauma of where we just came from, we think it's good. And because we have no idea there's a stage 4 and stage 5, we start planting roots here. We set up camp here. We figure, well, okay, I have to make this work. Like, okay, I got this. And we start planting these roots in this spot. We're not supposed to be here long, but we don't know that. 4 things start to happen. The first thing is we start getting these small self benefits. We get to be right. We get our story. We get someone to blame. We get a target for our anger. We don't have to do the hard work of learning to trust again. Can I trust you? Should I trust you? Forget it. I'm not trusting anybody. And we start planting deeper roots. And then because we're here longer than we should, the mind starts doing things like, well, maybe you deserved it. Maybe you're not all that great. Maybe this, maybe that. And we plant deeper roots. Now, because this is what you're thinking. These are the thoughts you're thinking. This is the energy you're putting out there. Like energy attracts like energy. So now you're calling situations and circumstances and people towards you to confirm, yep, this is exactly where you belong. And you plant deeper roots. And the misery loves company people, they start showing up now too. Deeper roots. It gets worse, but I'll get you out of here. Because it feels so bad and you have no idea there's a stage 4 and stage 5, transformation doesn't even begin until stage 4. Because you have no idea and you think this is it, right here is where you resign yourself to thinking, well, I guess this is as good as it's going to get. So, but I hate that. I don't like this. This feels awful. So right here is where you start using food, drugs, alcohol, work, TV, keeping busy, social media, reckless behavior, whatever it is, to numb, avoid, distract yourself from what's really painful to feel or face. So think about it. You do that for a day, a week, a month. Now it's a habit, a year, 10 years, 20 years. And I can see someone 20 years out and say, that emotional eating you're doing, or that drinking you're doing, or that numbing in front of the TV you're doing. Do you think that has anything to do with your betrayal or the shattering of trust? And they would look at me like I'm crazy. And you say, that happened 20 years ago. But do you see? All they did was put themselves in a stage 3 holding pattern and stay there. That's why it's the most common place to get stuck. I'm going to share with you what stages 4 and 5 are, and then I'm going to come back to stage 3 for a very important reason. If you're willing to let go of the small self benefits and everything you get with it, grieve, mourn the loss, bunch of things you need to do, you move to stage 4. Stage 4 is finding and adjusting to a new normal. Here's where you acknowledge, I can't undo my experience, but I can control what I do with it. And I always use the example of, if you've ever moved to a new house, office, condo, apartment, whatever, your stuff's not all there. It's not quite cozy yet, but it's going to be okay. And, when you're in this space, you start turning down the stress response. You're not physically healing just yet, but at least you stop the massive damage you were causing in stages 2 and stage 3. What's also interesting to stage 4 is if you were to move, you don't take everything with you. You don't take the things that don't represent who you want to be when you're in that new space. And what I found was if your friends weren't there for you, you don't take them with you. You've just outgrown them. And people say to me all the time, what the heck? I've had these friends 10, 20, 30 years. Is it me? Yes, it is. You're undergoing a transformation. And if they can't be there in the way you need right then, you're not taking them with you. Anyway, when you settle into this space, you're making it cozy, you make it mentally home, you move into the 5th most beautiful stage. And this is healing, rebirth, and a new worldview. The body starts to heal. Self-love, self-care, eating well, exercise. You didn't have the bandwidth for that earlier. Now you do. Your mind starts healing. You're making new rules, new boundaries based on your experience. And you have a new worldview based on what you see so clearly now. And the 4 legs of the table, remember in the beginning, it was all about the physical and the mental. By this point, we're solidly grounded because we're focused on the emotional and the spiritual too. Those are the 5 stages. Now, within the PBT Institute, we move you through the 5 stages. Our certified coaches are all certified in the 5 stages. Our signature programs move you through the 5 stages. My book, Trust Again, moves you through the 5 stages. But because I found that most people get stuck and stay stuck in stage 3, I just wrote another book, and this time it is all about stage 3. So if you're new to the stages, Trust Again will walk you through all of them. You will hear my story, my study participant stories, the 4-stage trust rebuilding process. But if you know you are stuck in stage 3, you're going to want to join me because I am celebrating the release of my newest book. And I don't even have a cover yet. It's so new, but this is it. From Hardened to Healed, the effortless path to release resistance, get unstuck, and create a life you love. This is for those of you who are stuck in stage 3. So I decided I am having a book launch party because this is just a time to celebrate. We can't change what we're unaware of. So I want you so aware of where you are so you can do something about it. Now, in these times of chaos, right? I mean, chaos as far as COVID and everything else going on in the world. Lots of people are stuck in stage three. Even now, here's the thing, even though the five stages are for betrayal, they really apply to any life crisis or even a set of limiting beliefs have gotten you, that have gotten you only so far. So you could see, like, even as it relates to COVID, think about it. There are some people who are so stuck. And I get it, and I'm not minimizing it at all. I had COVID. I've lost loved ones. I understand, the devastation of it. I truly, truly do. But there are some people who are just complaining, COVID-19, and I don't see my family and I haven't seen anybody and it's so terrible and it's so awful. And they have their story, right? That's stage three. And then there are some people who look at it very differently. They've moved to stage four. They're a bit more flexible. Flexible bends, rigid breaks. So the more flexible, you're hearing things like, and I'm sure either you or people oh, I cleaned out my house. I'm more social than ever on Zoom, on FaceTime, whatever it is for you. I only have to iron or steam the front of my shirts or whatever, and some people are adjusting and adapting and being okay with it. They have clearly moved to stage four, others stuck in stage three. It applies to so many different things. So this book launch is October 5th, and that is the release of From Hardened to Healed. And what I want to do is invite you to a free book launch party where we're going to be celebrating. I'm going to have all kinds of contests, and you're going to want to participate because I have some really fun prizes. So if you find that you are stuck in stage three, awareness is the first step so that you could do something about it. You do not have to stay stuck at all. It is proven, it is predictable to move through the stages. I did the study, so I can share with you. Yes, in fact, we know how to move from stage 3 to 4 to 5 and beyond. So all very exciting. So I'd love to invite you to the book launch party. And what you do for that is RSVP at thepbtinstitute.com. PBT is in post-betrayal transformation. thepbtinstitute.com/book party. thepbtinstitute.com/book party. It's going to be an incredible celebration. That is the day you're going to want to be there because that is the day I am going to be having amazing prizes. I'm having some of my coaches who are going to be there, and they're going to show you how it looked when they were in their stage 3 of their 5-stage journey and what they did to move through it. And it's nothing that you can't do. What I did, you could do. I didn't do anything you couldn't do. I just realized, well, here I am. This feeling is terrible. What can I do to move forward? And I'm sharing everything that I know. So join us for the book party. It's going to be on October 5th, but you need to RSVP. And to do that, and then find out on that book page how to be eligible for these great prizes. I promise you they're good. Thepbtinstitute.com/book party. I'll see you there. Bye-bye.